If you want to know who rules over you, see who you cannot criticize. It was Voltaire, or something very like, to know who rules over you, you simply find out who you are not allowed to criticize. Voltaire, apparently, famous French guy, back when French intellectuals weren't complete knobheads. So, interesting on that, isn't it? Like, what's too taboo to touch? So what we see in society is certain groups saying, we're oppressed, and therefore you can't criticize us. And I kind of go, hang on a minute. If you're so oppressed, how come you're so terrifying? Because people will lose their jobs. In my case, that just happened. I lost a job at a yoga festival. Not a big deal in of itself, but it's been a pivotal moment for me, because I thought, wow, this shit is real. This shit is really real, to lose my job to a radical feminist who formed a hate group against me. Who are you not allowed to criticize? Radical feminists would be one group. Islam would be the big one, It's like, if drawing a picture of Muhammad, is a hate crime, like really, that's a hate crime. Like, if I do that and say that's Mo, still an example there. Let's see. I actually thought that, and then saw Jordan Peterson do it later on. I thought it myself before. Is that a hate crime? Really? Are we really not allowed to in any way say that there's problems with this religion, despite the huge amount of female circumcision happening as a result in the UK, or the attitudes towards gay people, or the wide support for radicalism that exists in the UK? This is not my opinion. These are survey results of people. What else are we not allowed to criticize? The trans thing. That's terrifying, isn't it? I don't know about you, but it's absolutely terrifying to go near that. What would you might lose your job over? I think this says something about the world we live in, and that's really problematic if you believe in free speech. If you think that truth is a kind of key virtue, as I do, that's extremely problematic, and it worries me. Who gets to dictate this? Some American universities. Look at the sensitive industrial complex video for a little bit more on that. What does this mean for us in terms of personal growth? What does it mean for us? Well, I think if we are to grow as people, we do need to be courageous. We do need to speak out. Now, there's issues that I just don't have a need to speak out about, but I think, well, trans thing doesn't really particularly affect me. But if someone asks my opinion on it, I'll tell them the truth. For me, from a personal growth point of view, every time we push something down, we kill a part of ourselves. There's a price to pay for that. We kill a part of ourselves every time we don't speak the truth. It's not just about the effect it has in society. It's the effect it has on us as people. To not be able to speak freely, we become alienated from ourselves. We become inauthentic, to use a couple of phrases the left loves. That sort of cutting off from ourselves, I think, the basic energy of just being able to kind of name what we see. Now, we're political animals. We live in the real world. Caution is sometimes necessary here. I don't want anyone to get thrown out of their university for speaking the truth here. But we need a place to speak the truth. It's one of the things I love in my marriage is somewhere where I can always tell the truth, somewhere where we can speak to each other and be honest with each other. As a boss or a manager, if you're running a business, you need to be able to be criticized, at least your behaviors, not necessarily you as a person, but your behaviors by the people that work supposedly under you. I think that's absolutely important, or else you're a dictator and you're not going to get that feedback, and it's going to get very unhealthy. So let's look at this from the other side too. Are you not allowing other people to criticize you? I always draw the line on, I say, look, you can always criticize my arguments. You can always critique my behaviors. That's absolutely no problem. But not just personal insults. And this is where the regressive left kind of confuses those things. They'll say, you're a this. They just throw a label. And sometimes it's just like, you're a stinky twat shitface or something, really pathetic stuff. Other times it's like, you're a misogynist, you're a sexist, or you're a racist or homophobe. And it's like, okay, that's a name. Great. Please critique my points. Please critique my behavior. What have I done? Is me volunteering with this group of refugees a big problem for you? Often my behavior is completely opposite of what they would think, actually. So are you not allowing other people to criticize you? In which case we become the tyrants. And I think that is just as much of a danger for the new right, the old right, and the left, conservative and progressive left, as well as the more sane left. That's a danger for all of us, to become tyrants in our own little world. And where is that happening? Where is that happening in your life? Like, make a list right now of all the subjects you'd be scared to speak about. I'd say research those subjects. If you can't actually speak openly about them, because a lot of us, particularly us extroverts, think out loud. So if we're not allowed to speak about something, we can't think even about something. So luckily, find those close groups, find those friends that you can speak with. If nothing else, if you're in the desert in Namibia somewhere, like, find the videos on YouTube, get the internet connection, find what you can. Maybe you haven't got the internet now, I don't know. Most places have these days, find out who you're not allowed to criticize. That's the exercise today, and I want you to put in the comments Who do you feel like you're most not allowed to criticize? And how does that affect you psychologically? This is a personal growth channel, so that's what we're really looking at here. We can go raw and get resentful, angry about that, but what's the cost of that, and how do I avoid the cost of that? You know, whether it's actually just speaking out and being courageous and saying, fuck it, let the chips fall where they may, let's see what happens. That's what I've done a number of times. And you know what? Things aren't always as bad as you might think. You know, we have this fear as social animals of rejection and hate. But what I've found is that, if friends dropped away, other friends came in. You know, that's what happens. End up with better friends. The friends that, even though like feminist and leftist friends really still good friends, stuck by me when I started speaking out about some of this stuff. I kind of found who my real friends were, including some really hardcore, feminists and leftists, really good people. As human beings, they do exist. And I also got a whole load of new friends that were more in keeping with perhaps my values and my current thinking. So yeah, be careful with this, but play with it. Tell me how it is. And as ever, like and subscribe to the channel.